That must have been frightening, to say the least. I'm worried of using words that aren't strong enough.
I know you are.
That must have been
Don't let me intimidate you. That's not fair at all. But it's.
I don't want you to walk off if I use the wrong word.
I would never walk off. I
Really?
always turn up where I say I'm going to turn up. I always turn up early, 5 minutes before the 5 minutes before. I'm military, and I would never walk off. That would show weakness, surely.
It would probably get a lot of views, actually. Do you see that Peter Hitchens one? He walked off.
Oh no, I don't agree with walking off. I think if someone walks off, actually, they would always regret it. That's my sense. I think people are regretful after they've walked off.
I think Peter probably is, because he was on a podcast. Alex O'Connor, and I don't even know why it wasn't. It was one of those things where you don't know why he's gotten so upset. It wasn't
right. And I believe, and the boys you have to settle yourself. You know, if you said you're going to do something, whatever that is in life, you do it. And I know that if you walk off, you will have let yourself down and you won't like it. And all that you've done is you didn't really control yourself, because you should be able to argue your case, or you can cut it and say, well, that was really lame. But you can keep going. You can just cut someone and say, no, that question was lame. On we move.
Yeah.
Like, can you not move forward? And I know at a personal level, Piers Morgan, the biggest regret he has, and bear in mind this is a guy who has forged pictures on the front of the Daily Mirror and had to resign. He's hacked a dead girl's phone, allegedly. Bear in mind all of the lies Piers Morgan has told in his life, and now finds himself a YouTuber that no one wants to watch and Americans don't like because he's anti-guns. His biggest regret, I know, is walking off the set of ITV, his breakfast show, because he loved that show. And he still is not, he'll never get over losing that show. So
he does get, I should say, he does get a lot of views on YouTube, I think. I think he gets a lot.
I think he's just been humiliated royally by Tucker Carlson. It was very delicious to watch his lack of knowledge about Yugoslavia. But regardless, your question that you asked was, whether at some point it is sort of terrifying. I think I'm so lucky to have gone through it and be past it. You know, now we're another 5 years past that, and all of the things that have happened to me subsequently have really taught me, that it was worth it. But it was a lot. And when I see it coming for someone else now, Andrew Tate or whomever, Tommy, I know what the playbook. They know that I've been there.
But there have to be some people who are bad people, right? Some people are psychopathic and some people are malevolent. And Andrew Tate might be. I don't know what's true about the allegations. It's a lot of allegations. You're right that when people come for someone, maybe they're invented to an extent. But I have heard some of the things he says, and they're not very nice.
Right. Is Andrew Tate nice? Is that the question?
Are we allowed in society to, as a group, decide, hey, this person really is poisonous and they're not trying to be helpful in any way and they just want to get money off of everyone, and they do things like convert to Islam because they know there's a lot of incels in the Islamic culture who will give him money and views and things? Are we allowed to say, we don't like this guy, I'm going to criticise this, otherwise it will incentivise others?
Oh my good Lord. So where you got to there, are we allowed to say we don't like this guy, can we criticise him? I mean, that's an obvious answer, isn't it? Of course.
Well, I'm criticising Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I think you're slightly muddling where you went there, because we were talking about the utter evisceration of a person, and then you've just modified that to, aren't we allowed to criticise someone? Of course you can criticise. I should be criticised. If I'm not criticised, what the hell am I doing? Plenty of people criticise me on a daily basis, and absolutely they should. Plenty of people think the opposite of what I think, and that is charming as well.
But you're talking about things you've said, which we can say, okay, bad, good, whatever. With Andrew Tate, we're talking about the transportation of children.
I'm not here to talk about Andrew Tate
Allegedly.
nor defend him. I'm merely saying that I have seen firsthand how the very powerful will crush an individual who is trying to speak truth.
Yeah.
And that, for me, happened personally and specifically at a certain moment in time, stood on the shores of southern Italy, watching the Save the Children boat operate as a ferry, paid for by NGOs, directed by governments, funded by heads of churches and religious organisations. That's the article in the Daily Mail that ultimately led to my demise. And it wasn't an ordinary person criticising that got me fired. The head of the Charities Commission, head of the boards of deputies, 35 signatories from the boards of deputies. You know, these are big organisations involved. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But absolutely, should society decide who they want to listen to and don't? Yes. And is that why we're going to see the end of the BBC? Yes. People are choosing to watch you instead of the BBC, I assume. CNN is finished in America because people are choosing Trump's way. Absolutely, people should have choice. But I think one of the things, I guess, for me is, you know, less so now because people are used to the idea that I'm actually just a normal mum, woman, person thing, feisty, is people used to meet me and go, but you're nice. And it would be hard for them to understand because they'd been sold this monster really hard. You know, you're supposed to be 6'5" and hairy and you're just this little thing. And they're like, but you're nice. And that's the lie. You know, I've been very useful at highlighting the way the media will lie if they want someone to not believe you. What better way than to call them a name or call them controversial or make them a monster or show pictures of you where you're always, always ugly, like the ugliest you could look.
Well, that's horrible.
Well, it's just that's the system for women. Just find the worst picture of her because then people will know she's a monster and they can disregard what she's saying, even though 10 years later, a lot of what I was saying is now what lots of people are saying.